You ever been in a conversation with a woman, maybe someone you're dating, someone you just met, maybe even someone you've known for a while, and she says something that just doesn't sit right? Like, she drops a line that hits different, not because it's romantic, not because it's sweet, but because it raises a red flag so big it could wave from space. And yet, a lot of guys ignore that feeling. They push it down. They rationalize it. They think, maybe I'm overthinking. Maybe I just need to try harder. But here's the truth, and it might sting a little. Some of the most powerful moments to protect your peace come when you choose to walk away. Because when a woman tells you certain things, whether she means to or not, what she's really doing is revealing what she believes about herself and about you. And if you miss that, if you let it slide, you're not being noble. You're not being a good guy. You're just signing up for heartbreak with a smile on your face. Let's talk about it. Now, this isn't about demonizing women. It's not about playing victim either. It's about awareness. It's about recognizing that emotional intelligence isn't just about how we treat others. It's about what we accept for ourselves. Sometimes a woman will say something that's wrapped in charm or coated in vulnerability, but it reveals something deeper. And not all of these things sound aggressive or toxic. In fact, some sound pretty innocent. But the impact they have on a relationship? Life-changing. I remember a guy who dated this woman for 2 years. From the outside, they looked solid. Friends called them the perfect couple, but one day she said something that he couldn't shake. They were sitting in the car after dinner. It was casual. Out of nowhere, she said, "I don't think I'll ever be truly happy with just one man." She laughed after like it was a joke, but it wasn't. He knew it. He felt it in his gut. He didn't walk away. He stayed for another year. A year full of anxiety, questions, trying to change, trying to prove he was enough, until she cheated, and he was left staring at his reflection wondering why he didn't listen the first time. That's what we're talking about today. See, we live in a world where people show you who they are, but only if you're really listening. Not just to their actions, but to their words. And sometimes what a woman tells you plain as day is the very thing you need to hear to protect your future. But we don't want to see it. We make excuses. She's just being honest. She was hurt in the past. She's not like that with me. Listen, you don't need to hate someone to walk away. You don't need to be angry. You don't need to wait until she breaks your heart. If someone shows you that their path is going one way and yours is headed in a completely different direction, you have every right to bow out gracefully. Let me tell you what I've learned the hard way. The most peaceful relationships are built with people who are aligned with your values. Not just your attraction, not just your interests, but the deep stuff. The stuff that isn't sexy to talk about at first, but matters more than anything else in the long run. So when a woman tells you something that conflicts with your peace, your integrity, your core beliefs, you need to stop, slow down, and ask yourself, is this something I can live with? Because the truth is, most guys don't walk away. They stay. They try to change her. They try to love her harder. They try to fix things that were never theirs to fix. And then, when it all falls apart, they think, why didn't I leave when I had the chance? We romanticize struggle way too much. We turn chaos into passion. We think if a relationship doesn't hurt, it must not be real. That's nonsense. Real love doesn't feel like war. It feels like peace. And if you haven't felt that yet, maybe it's because you've been chasing the wrong kind of fire. You ever notice how easy it is to spot red flags in other people's stories? Your friend tells you what his girl said, and you immediately think, that's not good, man. But when you're the one in it, you can't see clearly. You're too close. You've got feelings. You've got hope. You want to believe it's different with you. But here's what I'll say. Love isn't blind. It's just often wearing rose-colored glasses. And you owe it to yourself to take those glasses off sometimes and look at things with clarity. Not fear, not desperation, not fantasy, just clarity. You know how strong you are when you walk away from something that doesn't serve you? That takes power. That takes self-respect. Because choosing to stay where you're not respected, not valued, not aligned, that's not loyalty. That's self-abandonment. And it usually starts with a sentence. One line, one moment, one truth that she casually shares with you. Maybe she says she always needs attention. Maybe she tells you men are only good for one thing. Maybe she jokes about never being satisfied, or says she likes to keep her options open, even in relationships. Those aren't just words, they're windows. And the question isn't what did she say, it's why am I ignoring what she said? Now look, I'm not saying everyone's perfect. We all have baggage. We all have wounds. But there's a big difference between someone who's aware of their patterns and working on them, and someone who proudly wears dysfunction like a badge. Some women will tell you straight up that they're not ready for something real. Some will admit they don't trust men. Some will say they don't believe in love anymore. And I'm here to tell you, it's not your job to convince her otherwise. It's your job to believe her. Believe what people tell you about themselves. The first time, don't wait for evidence, don't wait for heartbreak. Don't wait until your self-worth is tangled up in trying to change someone who doesn't even want to grow. You are not a rehabilitation center for broken hearts. You're not a fixer. You're a man with purpose, with peace, with value. And you deserve someone who adds to that, not drains it. You know what happens when you start listening more carefully. You stop wasting time. You stop falling for potential. You stop entertaining relationships that are destined to exhaust you. And you start recognizing that the right woman, she won't leave you confused. She won't have you guessing. She won't speak in riddles that leave you wondering if you're enough. She'll speak with clarity, with kindness, with consistency. So if a woman tells you something that makes your gut tighten, your chest heavy, your sleep uneasy, don't ignore that. It's not fear. It's not paranoia. That's wisdom. That's your intuition. That's your soul trying to protect you. You have a right to peace. You have a right to love that doesn't hurt. And sometimes the greatest act of love is the one you show yourself, by walking away from someone who already told you they're not ready to love you back. Take that seriously. Stay sharp. Stay grounded. Stay true to yourself. And don't ever be afraid to walk away, especially when someone's words already told you where they're headed. You deserve better than confusion. You deserve more than potential. You deserve peace.